Hi lovelies, and welcome to the Witch's Cookery. In light of recent events, you might feel anxious, stressed, disappointed, disempowered, or just fucking worried of what is to come. And I really can't blame you. But regardless of that, we all have points in our lives where we feel exactly those feelings. And this is why today I'm bringing this video to you to give you 6 ways on how to magically bring in energies of calm, tranquility, peace, power, happiness and hope. Because luckily you as a witch have the power to influence part of your inner world and part of your outer world in order to bring more calmness to your heart, which then again also helps to nourish that little passion and fire that's burning in you, to guide others, to help others, and to shine your truth into the world. Or in other words, show up as your best authentic self, living your truth, living your life. But before we all dive into that, let's take a really deep, long, cleansing breath together. Number 1, protective charms for yourself or your loved ones. Especially if you live in an environment that you just feel unsafe in because of other people's aggressions, because maybe it's just an unrestful environment, full stop. Protective charms are a really great way to go about things. Now, real talk here, I am a super skeptical witch. Do I think that if I put like a little amulet with rosemary on my child's neck, that this amulet will protect them from any worldly harm? No, I do not. So why do I still do it? Because while my scientific brain knows that it will likely not protect it from harm, there is a tiny little part inside of me that wishes it would. That really small superstitious part that now kind of like hopes that that did something. And you know what it does? It calms my brain and makes me less anxious. It makes me feel like I did something. And while it might not necessarily actually do something, it now calmed me down. It's a self-induced placebo. I'm aware of it. I use it all the time. I think it's fucking fantastic. If you, of course, believe that your protection charms work, then even better. You work with what works for you. How can you do a protection spell? There are many different methods out there. My personal favorite is just imagining a bubble of light that kind of like flows out from my heart and then surrounds that person that I want to protect, and nothing bad can permeate it. Some people like to light a black candle that they let burn. Please only supervise, because otherwise that protection charm can very quickly turn into a fire summoning. Don't want that. Not very safe, not very protective, not very cutesy, not very demure. Others might cast protection charms onto clothing, either by stitching sigils in it, by spraying them with a protective spray that they made, Cottage Witchery. And if you're a folk witchcraft practitioner in your culture, you might also have certain trinkets or charms or things that you carry on your body or slip into your shoes. And speaking about shoes brings me to point number 4, because my shoes are another great way of how I create a feeling of empowerment, resistance and purpose for myself. Now you might ask yourself, what, how? Let me explain. Hold that thought. I need to go a bit deeper. Sometimes we can get very overwhelmed by the feeling that decisions are made for us, or that we as a singular person are not very powerful at all, that we don't really have any impact, or that we don't really have impact on big world decisions, for example. That can feel depressing, that can feel disempowering, that can just feel like, oh, I want to give up. But it's important to realize that you always can make impact in small things. Just by being your authentic self, inspiring other people, for example. By making choices about something you care about. And also by remembering that you alone cannot save the world. You don't have to be super conscious, or can be super conscious at every single topic that would be important, but you can pick the ones that are most important to you and make a change and a positive choice there. Me as a witch that very closely works with seasonal energies, one of the things that I am very passionate about is nature, is environment, is environmental changes and protection of environment. So I can make small conscious choices there, and that's why you constantly see me wearing the same clothes for the 5th year in a row now. I don't want to buy into overconsumption. I like to thrift. I like to support brands that are eco-conscious. And that brings me back to my shoes, because lovelies, you have also seen me wear the same shoes for years in a row, and that's why I always have VIVAIA shoes. I love that brand, and they graciously sent me new pairs from their winter and fall collection that are very comfortable. And if you're a little green witch too and feel called to make conscious decisions in your wardrobe, or just be really stylish, I'm gonna show them to you real quick. So first of all, what is the catch? They take out plastic that lands in the ocean, you know, where all the little fishies die and get tangled in the pollution of it all. And then they take this plastic, they spit it into some sort of like yarn, and they make shoes from that. And now you're probably thinking, that sounds really uncomfortable. It's not. They're actually very comfortable. So I have these unisex slip-on boots, very easy to just like throw on when you're on the kindergarten run, or you know, on the way out the door for a little mind clearing walk in nature. Don't have to bend down, you don't have to use your hands, which I love because I constantly either carry a crotch goblin, a camera, or a bag with God knows what. They're super light, they're anti-slip, and they're water repellent, so if it's coming down, especially now in November, your feet stay dry. And if you want to be a little bit more stylish, you're gonna add a little heel to that with this running heel boots. And I know that running and heel usually don't go together, but they're so comfortable, and the heel is so nice and thick that you really have a great grip, and you can really just walk, run, do anything you like with them while being kind to nature. Isn't that great? I also have to say that every time I see ankle boots with a little bit of a heel, they just remind me of witches. I think just because of the depiction that you have in a lot of the movies and in the books. And also water repellent, as are these Chelsea ankle boots. And here again, these VIVAIA shoes are all designed in a way that does not make them go out of fashion like immediately next year. They're very timeless and very stylish and beautiful, so you can wear them over different years. And that's why I can still wear the ones that I got 3 years ago, even though I wear them all the time. A lot of them you even can just pop into the washing machine and have them come out squeaky clean. If you like to be comfy, stylish, and also care about the environment in your daily choices, take a little bit of that power back. I leave you my discount code for the Black Friday sales of VIVAIA in the description box below. Little cottage witch spell that you can tailor to your own preferences and purposes for that specific spell, and it will also make your surroundings smell wonderful, uplifting. And that with it being eco-friendly and without all the toxins that you might find in scented candles. This is actually not my idea, but I got it as a gift from one of the lovely retreat participants that I met at my Samhain retreat, and I just had to share it. So what you do is you take a little tangerine peel, snack that tangerine, a little bit of vitamin C is always good for you, and then you very mindfully fill it with certain herbs or spices that in their magical properties are related to the intention, to the spell that you want to weave. So let's say you want to create an atmosphere of calm and tranquility. You might put in some dried lavender. Let's say you want to have that clarity of mind. I would use rosemary. Need some luck and success, a little bit of cinnamon bark or cloves. Want to open that mind, come to an intuitive decision. Mugwort, star anise. Want to bring the sunshine in? Use St. John's wort or frankincense. For protection you can use fir resin or fir needles or whatever else speaks to you. Make a little concoction. The tangerine peel is your vessel that carries that little spell. Once it's done, you want to put a little bit of beeswax in it. So I got it from my bees in the garden. But you could also, for example, use wax that you have from burnt down candles as a lovely way to recycle it. Put it in, and then you want to put this spell in a room where you're sitting, where you're meditating, where you're just going about life. I also like to put mine in the office for when I work, and we need indirect heat for it. So I have this little contraption, in German we call it a Stöfchen, which allows you to put a tea light underneath it, and then it just warms up the orange peel. But you could also, for example, set it on a radiator. What does that do? It warms up the wax and that releases the scent. Very gentle, very lovely. Let that cottage witch magic work on your senses and let it fill your mind, your heart, your body with that intention you had in mind when making the spell. Number 2 is a cottage witch activity. You take a everyday task. That can be cooking, it can be baking, it can be cleaning the windows, sweeping your floors. And instead of just mindlessly doing that or doing that while you sit in your emotions of frustration, anger, fear, you attach a magical intention to it. Let me give you an example. Let's say your kitchen counters are super dirty and need a deep clean, but there's also something really heavily weighing on your chest. You're not feeling great about it. Now what we're gonna do now is we tie that kitchen and counter space to your heart space. How do we do this? Literally however the fuck you want or feel like. How I would go about this would probably to lay my hand on the kitchen counter and then visualize how all of my worries, all of that heavy stuff on my heart is now flowing as a dark energy, a dark light through my arm out and onto that kitchen counter. So yeah, now your entire kitchen is filled with that dark energy, right? It's not in your heart anymore, it's there now, together with the dirt and the crumbs. So then you gotta take your cleaning supplies and you're going to start scrubbing. You're scrubbing the energy and you're scrubbing the crumbs and the dirt and the muck and the grease, and you focus on releasing these emotions for now, becoming aware that they are, even though they're valid, not helpful in that moment because they make you spiral or because they keep you inactive, they keep you in a state of despair instead of a state of positive hopefulness. Scrub them out, sweep them away, open the windows, cleanse that space when you're done. You can do this for any other purpose too. I, as a kitchen witch, for example, love to use cooking in a similar way for different intents to deal with whatever is going on in my head and in my heart. It's kind of like a working meditation if you want. And the bonus is you end up with a really delicious cake or a really clean kitchen. It's a win-win! Number 3, bring some light into the darkness. Meaning, as hard as it is, try to not focus on all the negativity, but see every bit of positivity you can take. And it doesn't mean being toxic positive, it means giving your heart and your head a little bit of rest and the opportunity to tap into this feeling of hope again. Where can you find those lights? Well, first of all, in yourselves. Focus on your passions. Focus on the things that are important to you. Focus on good things that you can share with others. If that's now in a magical way where you do a little bit of kitchen witchery, bake a really nice cake, share them with the community around you or with your family. Bring that love into your direct environment. And speaking of communities, this is also where you can find light or share light and grow it. Because if you have one flame, you can light another candle from it, and another and another and another. And that way you can build communities of empowered people, of people that stick together, of people that share love, that share common values, common ethics, same sense of empathy and offer love and friendship and support, especially in very dark times when you sometimes cannot see the light for yourself. You need someone else to carry that little lantern for a part of your journey, a part of your path with you. And then having a community you can fall back on is invaluable. And honestly, the people in the witchcraft community, at least the ones that I know that I have gathered around myself in retreats, in workshops, in online groups, are fantastic people. And I could not live anymore without this support, without my weekends where we meet in group workshops and where people share about their struggles and other people build them up again, give advice, share their wisdom, share their positivity and light so that others that at the moment are struggling can take a little bit of fire from that. Build it for yourself, find it for yourself, either in your direct area or online. A little bit of coven magic, rituals and spell work to tackle certain issues might be just what you need in those moments. And my last tip, if you're feeling disempowered, lean into your practice. You as a witch, and that is already in the name, are someone that can draw from their own wisdom, the wisdom of nature, the wisdom of history, the wisdom that they have gathered from walking paths in a life that were not particularly easy, that were maybe even traumatic, but you've learned from them. Being a witch means reflecting about you, reflecting about the world, reflecting about your reaction to certain outside triggers. Getting to know yourself very well. Being aware of what is needed inside you right now and putting your energy there. If your energy is needed in stepping away from outdoor disruptors, focus on spell work and ritual that center around self-care. You know best on how to care for yourself in order to really have the energy to step into your power again. A solid witchcraft practice can help you feel more calm, more centered, more grounded. It can help you learn more about you. It can help you feel empowered. It can help you manifest. It can help you step into your authentic self, and that way you manifest a circle of like-minded people. It can help you manifest a job or career that is in alignment with what you really truly want, need and value. And that again can bring you financial freedom in order to have a bigger impact in a world that is very capitalistic. Following the witch's path can help you shift limiting beliefs, so you can actually see that your cage is wide open and you just need to fly out. If you feel ready for that step, I'm always there to help you. You can check out my website. There's been specific 2 offers starting in January that will help you tap into that inner power and to go into 2025 feeling strong, empowered, calm in your heart. Now, lovelies, with that I'm sending you lots of peace, lots of love, lots of calm, and have a magical good day. Bye.